Oh, wow. Yesterday, I went to Sacramento, California for a day trip. So if you are interested in thrifting, in good food, or you're planning a trip to Sacramento, stay tuned. Hi there, welcome to the Peaceful Home. I'm going to show you all the things that I did on my trip yesterday. It was a very quick trip, and so I didn't get as much packed in as I wanted to. I did go to IKEA, but that's for another video. I had a route of 7 thrift stores. I'm going to show you how you can plan the same route. Each store I went into, my thrift haul, and at the very end, I will go over things to do in Sacramento, restaurants and bakeries. When I just did a Google search for thrift stores in Sacramento, so many came up. It would be impossible to do them all in a day. So I was looking for where can I hit the most in the least amount of time. I began to put those spots into my Maps app and plan out a route. Now, one of the main bakeries I wanted to try was right in the middle of that, so it was perfect. I also hit HomeGoods and got a couple things on clearance there. Thrift store number 1 is Deseret Industries. Deseret is known for having extremely clean thrift stores. They are so well organized, and they're also known for color coordinating their clothes, which just gives the whole place a really tidy, organized look. This was a decent price for this vintage picnic basket. It was in excellent condition and a really nice find. I often find dishes at Deseret. They have a really great selection of glassware, of plates, and of course I'm always looking for transferware. I've been looking for some glasses for my bathroom. I saw this pair first. It was a set of 2. Then I found this little goblet and I thought it was so unusual looking, really cute, but there was only one. So I continued to look and I found this set. This was another set of 2 and I really loved the cut work on the glass. I thought these little boxes were so cute and they were only $2 each. I actually found 3 in the main store and then I found a 4th out in the garden section. These would be so nice for holding so many different things, and they could sit on a shelf or be hung on a wall. I've actually never been to Deseret in California, only Idaho. They typically have a lot of furniture at really great prices. This chest was gorgeous. They also have an amazing outdoor section, and this one was incredibly clean with really nice aisles. These horizontal files caught my eye. They were only $3 for the whole set, and they had these cute little brackets for labels, which is really nice. I loved this ice cream maker. It'd be so fun to have something like that. A great selection of baskets. This trunk was so cool. $35, a little high, but actually it was in really good shape and beautiful. I'm always on the lookout for picnic baskets. Well, really, I just notice them and I love them, but I certainly don't need any more. This one was beat up, but it was a great price and it would be so easy to sand it down. I could honestly say I've never seen a weather vane at a thrift store. This one was so cool. It was painted this really nice teal color with gold accents, and I thought it was a very original piece. It was only $15. There were some really great glass bowls out here, including this trifle dish. And there was also a jar. It didn't have a lid, but I still felt like there could have been a lot of uses for it, and it was only $4. Any guesses as to what I bought here? I came home with 3 things from Deseret. First of all is this set of trays. I love the little label spot here. They come apart, they stack easily. These were originally from IKEA. I don't know what the original price was, but each one was individually marked for $4 with a Goodwill sticker. So that means someone bought them from Goodwill for $4 each. There's 5 here, so that would have been $20. Deseret had the entire set priced at $3. I'm really hoping these will work out in my desk area. I was completely willing to try it for $3. Some of these have been painted gold, and that will be really easy to sand off. A while back, I picked up one drinking glass for my bathroom. I've been looking for another and haven't found what I wanted, and at Deseret, I found this cute pair. Absolutely perfect for what I need. These were $2 each. Lastly, I got the weather vane. It's very heavy. It's made of cast iron, weighs a ton. I think it is so beautiful, and it was only $15. My plan is to put this either on the front porch or somewhere out on the garden. I think it would look so beautiful on the property. And this is an example of something that I didn't have a very specific spot. I didn't know exactly where it was going to go, but it was something that I really loved, and I knew I was going to find a spot for it. Next on the route were the American Cancer Society and the Assistance League. Now, because my time was so limited, I was already realizing I needed to cut a couple of things out. So I cut out the Cancer Society and a Goodwill that were close by, but the Assistance League was also closed. So I didn't get to those 3. Next, St. Vincent de Paul. This store was absolutely huge. There was this giant main room and then these smaller rooms off of the main room, and each one was labeled for a different category. This store was extremely well organized. Oh, I loved this table. I thought it was so gorgeous, but they did know it was a vintage item, possibly an antique, and it was priced accordingly. They had quite a bit of furniture and not junk. They had some really nice things, stuff that was in great shape, and a lot to choose from. They also had a really great book section and even things like crafts and office supplies that were so well organized. I actually stopped and spoke to the staff on my way out, thanking them for their hard work to have such a beautiful store. This table was so cute, and I loved some of the glassware. They had an excellent selection of dishes. Next on the route was Estelle, and it was amazing. One of the best French bakeries I've been to. I'm going to talk about that at the end with food. After that, I continued on to Weave. This ended up being my favorite thrift store of the day. Right when I walked in, I was greeted warmly by the employees. You could tell immediately that the displays were very intentional. It just had a very homey vibe in there. It was neat as a pin, and the prices were amazing. Now, Weave is also a nonprofit. They help people in domestic violence situations, and just hearing the employees talk about their work inspired me. So not only will you find great deals here, it is for a truly worthy cause. When I was checking out, the employees were telling me that they actually have a second store that is mostly home goods, while the store I was in was mainly clothing. I did not have time to get to the store before it closed, so I am definitely going there the next time I go to Sacramento. This blue sweater caught my eye. Beautiful color, very soft, and this gray and white check, well, more of a plaid. They had such an amazing selection and really great name brands, plus everything was organized according to size, which is so helpful. There were tons of stripes, blue and white stripes everywhere, which are some of my favorites. This store was so much fun, and I wish I had had more time to really linger. I would have gone through every clothing rack. This painting was not for sale, but I loved it. They did have dressing rooms. They were very spacious and clean with full-length mirrors,
And it's really hard to purchase things when you're not able to try them on. So I think this is a big plus. Weave is an absolute must if you go to Sacramento.
Meanwhile, I picked up 4 things at Weave. First of all, this very simple Old Navy white tee. And I find it difficult to find white t-shirts that really fit well, that aren't see-through, they're not too low, the sleeves aren't weird. I don't know, there's just something about getting a basic white tee that fits really nicely. And this one was $2.98 and fit perfectly. Now that I think about it, I bought everything I tried on. This is a Lucky Brand button-up, very soft. It hangs really nicely. It's flattering. I love the colors. $7.98. The color caught my eye on this blue sweater from H&M. It has a V-neck front and back, which is really interesting. I don't have anything like this. Very cozy, warm, and only $5.98. Lastly, these jeans may be my favorite. They were also a pink tag, so at $9.98, they were half price, $5 for these stretchy jeans. Now, what I really loved about them is they were a wide leg and they were extremely comfortable and flattering. I just felt really good in these and I knew I had to buy them. I've been talking a lot in previous videos about the heck yeah. Like when you go to buy something, it's either a heck yeah or a no. Like, I absolutely love this. I know where this is gonna go in my home. And every single one of these, I knew that I would love and keep for a very long time. One of the reasons I was willing to give up going to a Goodwill is because I had 2 on the route. And so this was the next one, and this store was giant.
It was a very windy day. And I was trying to stay warm. Going into the thrift store helped, and I didn't do a lot of clothing shopping. I had just left Weave and felt so fulfilled, but I looked at a few things, and they definitely had a lot of clothes. This was probably the largest Goodwill I have ever been in, so the selection was amazing. This beautiful French platter was just gorgeous. $3.99 is a great price, but the shelves were packed. Another beautiful platter. I love the flowers on this one, and this one was made in France as well. Really gorgeous. Some rows were more organized than others. Some spots were pretty cluttery. They did have some nice baskets. This divided one was kind of nice. And then I found this one, which I already have 3 identical baskets. So it was very tempting to buy a 4th, except that I really didn't need it. So there just wasn't a point. They had a lot of great glassware, jars, very good selection if you're looking for storage in your pantry. I loved these dishes. This is part of the Stratwood collection by Homer Laughlin, and it shows these leaves with blackberries, so cute. They did have a great selection of candlesticks. I liked this cast iron one, very European. These ones were nice too. This was a set of 2. I think this peg rack or rack of hooks would be really versatile, only $1.99, and it would go with so many different types of decor. What do you think of this turkey pillow? He kind of caught my eye, but I couldn't decide if I really liked him or if he was a little odd. If I had had my truck, I definitely would have grabbed this outdoor set.
I picked up 2 things. One, these beautiful linen pants, elastic waist, wide leg. These are new with tags, a new day from Target, $25. I paid $10. And this beautiful cardigan. I love the color. It's kind of like a dusty navy, if you will, kind of muted, and it's very long. This looks great with leggings or jeans. Lastly, I decided to pop into HomeGoods just because it was there. It wasn't on my original route, But I've been looking for bedding for my bed for spring and summer. I'm just not finding what I'm looking for. So I went in there. I didn't find bedding, but I found two things on clearance. First of all, I found these darling bird knobs. Aren't these cute? These definitely have an old world feel. I think these were on clearance because the boxes were all shredded. So they were only $5 each. That's $1.25 per knob. You can't go to Home Depot and get a plain wooden knob for $1.25. This was such a great deal, and I think these are so cute. I don't know yet if I will use these as knobs or maybe directly on the wall for hanging hooks. And lastly, this beautiful pillow. And this has colors that I love. I loved the print. I did buy it thinking it might work for my spring summer bedroom, but I know that I can return it if it doesn't work out. And that's the end of the shopping haul. I'm going to just do a quick review of the things to do in Sacramento if you go to visit and some ideas for food. When I go to a new city to thrift, to shop, explore, I check out restaurants online. So just do a search, best restaurants in blank town, and see what comes up. A lot of times as you're reading different blogs, different review sites, you're gonna see things that pop up continually. Those are the things you wanna take note of. Pinterest is also great. People that are just vlogging their weekend in a certain spot, they're usually gonna have great recommendations. As far as restaurants in Sacramento, I came across this online and it cracked me up. My friend collects unemployment, go to Jim Boy's. My friend has a job, Jamie's. My friend has a trust fund, the Kitchen. Now, I haven't been to the Kitchen, but apparently it's a little pricey. That makes me curious and possibly a place I'd like to try. Now, the next day I found myself heading to IKEA. I have not had lunch. It's already after lunchtime. I was so hungry. I really wanted to get to the tower. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I needed something quick. As I was driving to IKEA, I saw Jim Boy's tacos. I didn't want to spoil my appetite, so I drove through this very unassuming little taco joint and I got one ground beef taco. It was $3, and honestly, it was delicious. It was so good. I don't know how they did the corn tortilla shell, but that was the best part. It wasn't soft, but it also wasn't crispy. However they cooked it, it was that in-between stage, and it just had the right amount of crunch, but was very chewy. I honestly don't even know how to describe it. It was also dusted with this finely grated cheese, and it was very simple, just ground beef and lettuce, and I think a little tomato, and they have their own brand of taco sauce, and it was delicious. So after IKEA, I headed over to the tower. I was able to find parking in the back very easily, this was downtown, very near downtown. And sometimes the parking is tricky. You can go to parking garages and sometimes you can catch metered parking on the street, but this had an entire parking spot behind it. It's right next to the Tower Theater, and what a beautiful building. And the grounds are gorgeous too. Lovely landscaping, there's a fountain. I walked around to the restaurant, so excited. I got there at 3:30 and they closed at 3. So no tower for me, but I've heard their food is amazing. I highly recommend you do your own research, but if you want to start to narrow things down, I'm going to give you a list. Fox and Goose came up not only for the restaurant, but also for a bakery. Fixin's came up over and over. People say they have an amazing fried chicken dinner. There's also Cannon, Hawks, The Grange, and that I believe is in the Citizens Hotel. I really love pastries, good pastries, and Estelle did not disappoint. I believe the full name is Estelle Bakery and Patisserie. Right when you walk in, it was open and airy, bright and inviting. Their pastry case was beautiful, glass on all sides. Classic pastries. This was in the afternoon, so they were out of a lot. There was only one croissant left. They had very tempting desserts and also macarons, which are one of my favorites. I'm gonna clear all this out, change into my new sweater, and show you the pastries I bought and do a little tasting. The first one is an island passion cake. This is a coconut cake with mango passion fruit compote, coconut mousse, passion fruit whipped ganache, and white chocolate crunch. I'm gonna take a bite of the whole thing together. Got to get a little bit of that cream on there. Oh goodness, honestly, it's better than I expected. It really is sensational. I hate to say this, but I totally am a pastry snob. I just have high expectations, and this definitely meets them. A little tea chaser here. And we'll try the strawberry. Now the fresh strawberry cake is a little simpler. It's vanilla chantilly cream with fresh strawberries and vanilla sponge. Now these strawberries are looking a little sad, but remember I purchased this yesterday. So it sat overnight in my refrigerator. Oh goodness. That is like strawberry shortcake on steroids. It is so light and fluffy. The sponge cake is amazing. The chantilly cream just tastes delicious. I'm so happy. Good pastries really do bring me joy. Okay, the last thing to try. I did save one of the macarons. It got a little beat up in my car, but this is the lavender Earl Grey. Oh, wow. If I had tasted this while I was in the shop, I probably would have bought so many more. This is absolutely amazing. There is no doubt that I'm going back to Estelle's when I go back to Sacramento. The other one I really wanted to try was Ginger Elizabeth, and I didn't get to that one, but it's top of my list. Along with Faria Bakery, Pushkin's, which is gluten-free, Spinner's Cinnamon Rolls, and Bacon and Butter for breakfast, meaning Bacon and Butter is the name of the restaurant. Also Milk Money Donuts, and Grateful Bread and Juno's for sourdough. Sacramento really is a beautiful city. It is the capital of California, so of course you can go to the capital. I have been there before. Take a tour of the inside. It is gorgeous. My other favorite spot is Old Sacramento and the waterfront. There are so many amazing restaurants there. It's such a fun place for families to go and explore and walk around all these little shops. One of the restaurants in Old Sacramento that I've heard a lot about is Prelude, and so that's at the top of my list as well. You know, John Sutter was setting up Sutter's Fort, which basically became Sacramento during the gold rush era, and his employee is the one that discovered gold in California. You can go to the fort for a tour. They have living history actors. My husband and I went a couple of years ago. It was really fun. There is just so much to do. In addition to seeing the Capitol, all these great restaurants, the waterfront, you could go see an A's game. You could go to a museum. There are 32 museums in Sacramento. Everything from gold rush stuff to the largest railroad museum in North America, art museums, and so much more. An amazing place to stay, and if you can't stay there, at least go and see it, the Delta King. It's a historic paddle boat that has been docked there at the waterfront and turned into a hotel. I think Sacramento is totally worth a visit. For one thing, the thrifting is amazing, and I can't wait to try out new places as well as new restaurants. I'm curious if any of my viewers live in Sacramento, or how many of you live in California and have visited. What would your recommendations be? I would love to hear about them in the comments. Please share with the other viewers. Also, what do you think was my best find of the day? Please consider subscribing if you're new here, and give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful or entertaining in any way. Thanks so much for joining me on The Peaceful Home. Have an amazing day.